All right, so today I wanted to switch things up. So, for the past month or so, I haven't been recording. This is the first time, but for the past month or so, I take one day out of the week to do some like running, field work. I call it, and cardio. And I wanted to share, I guess, my basic thoughts about cardio. Um, I just think societally, in society, we have an overemphasis on the whole running and heart rate and cardiovascular stuff. I have a lot of theories, like about everything, right? But when it comes to cardio, I find the most effective cardio to be when you focus on mobility rather than on heart rate and pace and everything like that. So, especially here in Utah, I've moved here to Provo recently. I see people every single day running and just, it seems like they're just doing it because they think it's the most effective form of exercise. I think um, it is effective, but only when done properly, just like any other exercise. And you have to consider what's proper form, proper technique, proper, I guess, exertion, all these things. Anyways, the reason why I'm running today is because I've been playing volleyball a lot this week, and with all the extra movements, the athletic movements, I feel like the inside of my left thigh. I don't know if it's called the abductor or adductor. The inside of my thigh is tight, and my knee is kind of hurting a little bit, and I figured it was time to go back to the field and do some mobility. So, to be frank, I guess, to be simple, I think running is more like a survival instinct than it is an exercise. You should be able to run. You should have the ability to run a decent amount and to not get overly tired and gassed when you run. I just think it's something that once you learn how to do it, you can move on from it and only use it when you need to do, like I said, mobility and things like that. You shouldn't be running to make yourself tired. You shouldn't be running to do any of that stuff. That's just my opinion. You can think about it. If it makes sense to you, implement what I'm saying. If it doesn't make sense to you, just keep thinking about it. I think it's a basic measure of human health to be able to run. And one thing I've been doing is you notice that my shoes are off. I've been running barefoot for the past month now, and I can tell you the results are amazing. It feels great. Although I guess the skin on the bottom of my feet is peeling, it's because my feet are getting tougher. The skin is strengthening. The muscles involved in the feet and in the ankles have never been so, I guess, so alive in my life before. And it got to the point where I had to go to this event, and I actually recently tore through my running shoes. I was playing kickball and rounding first base. I planted my foot, and the side of my shoe just burst open. Anyways, so the only other shoes I had were some basketball shoes that I haven't worn in a long time. I wore these basketball shoes to this event, and let me tell you, it felt like I was wearing high heels or something. It was. I'm pretty sure the shoes are what caused my knee pain. The difference of I guess elevation and angling. I don't know what the dynamics of the shoe are. It just messed me up. And I just right now I just feel so much more comfortable running barefoot than I do any other way. But even with shoes on, it's not bad. Obviously, it's just if you, as a matter of fact, there's a guy on Instagram he's the one that gave me this idea. I had been thinking about it, and I didn't know if I should start running barefoot. But then I found this guy who that's his whole focus and his whole marketing scheme, I guess. His name is the Barefoot Sprinter on Instagram. Anyways, if you've been watching me doing all this mobility work, I look pretty silly and I look stupid because I don't have good form. I haven't been doing this for very long, so I don't have proper strength and flexibility and stuff like that. But all that stuff felt great, and my knees actually been doing better since then. It's interesting because the weightlifting movements obviously are good for your muscles and stuff, but I think we often neglect our ligaments and our joints. How often are we taking proper care, I guess, and time to make sure that our ligaments and everything is able to function properly, I guess, going through the full range of motion. You saw me doing I don't know what to call them. I'm gonna call them waddle walks, I guess. But at the beginning of the video, I was on my toes and I was doing my best to walk forward, stuff like that. It's really great when it comes to like I said, limb functionality, because as strong as your muscles might be, if your ligaments and joints aren't strong, then it won't do anything for you. So anyways, today I did some squats, and I did it a little bit different than normal. So because of my knee, I wanted to focus on rehab, and getting my knee back to proper condition and strength. I don't care about squatting heavy when I know I have a specific weakness I can be working on. So I set up my stance a little bit wider than normal, and I only went down enough where I could feel the inside of my thigh stretch, where it was tight. And so once I felt the stretch, I stood back up. So I went fairly deep, but not all the way down like I normally do. I think I calculated this to be like 60% of my max. And it's just like a comfortable weight where it's like it's not light, but it's also not heavy where you have to exert yourself too much. Like I said, the focus was my knee. So after the squats, I think I went to bench press because I want to be very consistent with that. I'm trying to build my upper body. That brings me to another topic actually that I've been meaning to talk about for a while, and that's dieting. I've already made a video where I kind of share all my postulations and theories about dieting. It's called The Key to Dieting. It's like a 30-minute long video. Not super great quality, but the ideas are solid. Anyways, so since early 2021, I've been doing this, I guess I've been running this experiment on myself. I had served a mission, and during the mission I was in Philadelphia, which is a really restricted area for COVID at the time. And so we had to stay in our apartments for most of the mission, I guess, like the whole time I was there. So for a whole year, I was just basically stuck in my apartment doing only exercise that I could do in the apartment. And it was cold. I also didn't like running. Like, it's only recently that I figured out like what makes running enjoyable. But back then, I hated running. So I wasn't doing much exercise, and my body had atrophied to the point where like I had a high body fat percentage and like little to no muscle mass. It was kind of ridiculous. So I was thinking long and hard about how can I turn this around. If you know anything about bodybuilding, you know that a lot of bodybuilders go through a bulking phase and then they go through a cutting phase where like they will intentionally gain weight, and part of that weight will be muscle mass, and then they'll go and cut the fat by like extreme dieting. I wasn't going to do that, but I had the idea. What if I were just to overload my body with nutrients, like eating and what seemed to me at the time to be an excessive amount of protein, coupled with vegetables, and then literally eating anything else I wanted to eat. I had the idea. I was like, your body is a machine. It's an efficient machine. It does everything at an amazingly efficient level. So I was thinking, if your body knows what it wants, it would be able to signal that to you, theoretically. As long as you're giving it what it needs, your body will be able to build itself according to like how your DNA is structured and programmed. I feel like a lot of us are living below our means. We're not eating enough, not doing enough exercise, or at least not eating well enough. And then we are disappointed with the results we see. And we don't realize that your body is already capable of doing so much more than you realize. The body you currently possess right now is your best chance at survival. Given that, let's say like there's a shortage of food supply, and like you can't eat anything, you can't like do anything, all of a sudden there's like nothing left to support yourself. Your body that you have right now is the best chance you have for survival. Like, it's a known fact that in the, I guess, the primal stages of humanity, that humans would go maybe a week or more without eating because it all depended on what they could kill, and in between it was like the fat storage on the body that kept all the organism functioning. So with all this in mind, with evolutionary biology in mind, I decided that I was just gonna eat as much as I could, when just eating plain meat with vegetables, and supplementing that with anything else I felt I needed to eat, as my body kind of signaled to me. So it's been a year now, or no, 18 months I think. It's been 18 months, and I theorized earlier this year in 2022. I was thinking that your body and its nervous system has to work like a software update, I guess, or like a iOS system on your iPhone. It's like you obviously go through growing stages from your early childhood to late teenage years, I guess. Your body goes through a lot of changes and upgrades, basically, and you'll never see anyone once they've grown like go back to being a baby or going back to the same state they were when they were younger. Obviously the body ages and begins to decompose and stuff like that, but your body only upgrades, and then it changes in a forward fashion, in a forward manner. So I was thinking, what does my body need in order to you know how sometimes your phone wants to update and then it says it needs to be plugged in order to update. It's like, what if your body has certain requirements before it can make the next upgrade and maintain it? Because your body is efficient, your body is smart, and it's programmed in a way where it's not going to do anything self-sabotaging or to compromise itself. So just because you want to get huge in the gym or whatever doesn't mean that your body is going to follow suit if it knows, or does not know, as a matter of fact, has a lack of assurance that it will be able to maintain that physique, that form. So in my mind, it made sense. I was like, that I'm going to have to consistently eat in a way where I'll be able to signal to my body that there is enough resource and there is enough available to allow this transformation to happen. And I theorize that maybe within 6 months or more, that I would get to a point where I hit a threshold where my body had received all the supplies it needed, basically like as if it were a construction project. Thinking that my body would receive all the supplies it needed, would reconstruct, would upgrade the existing system, and then build upon that. And at which point I would like have less of an appetite. I would not need as much food to sustain myself and all that stuff. And it actually happened, I believe. I'm still kind of examining and continuing in the process, but just this, like the last few weeks, I noticed that every time I eat a meal, normally I eat 2 big meals every day if I can, at the very least 1 meal. That's like a decently sized meal, close to 100 grams of protein, and whatever else I feel like my body needs to have with it, I add on the meal. So I've been eating like this for a while, and just recently I noticed that I could only eat maybe half of that, and then the rest of it I had to save for later. And then basically my 2 meals turned into 1 meal that I would split in half to eat twice. And I think I've hit that point where my body is comfortable, my body has received all the nutrients it needs, and now the reconstruction is underway, and all the work I do in the gym will be maintained. That's where I am at right now, and that's an amazing feeling to me. So anyways, hopefully that made sense to anyone watching. By the way, if you're watching, I should have said this at the beginning, I want to say thank you so much for watching my videos. It means a lot, especially since I know that it's not easy or not appealing to support somebody who doesn't have a large following already, and there's no guaranteed like return on your time invested. So just like the fact that you're taking time to watch this video means a lot, because you're doing it out of just goodwill and a desire, I guess, to learn more about fitness or whatever. I don't know what value I bring to you, but whatever it is personally, I hope I can continue doing it. A problem happened with my phone today where the phone stopped recording, and then I tried several times to get it going again and it wouldn't go. But I did deadlifting today, and I'm trying to do more volume deadlifting. Just like my bench press, I want to be more consistent to kind of see some progress. So right now I'm deadlifting 80. I'm trying to look at the screen. I ended up deadlifting up to 80%, which for me is 250 pounds about. And I don't think you'll see it on the camera, but I did that for a few sets, and I think I did maybe 8 to 12 reps in total. And that's another key, I think, for anyone wanting to learn about the basics of weightlifting. It's a combined average, I guess. You have to factor in the rate of exertion, but also the prolonged time under tension, I guess, of the exercise. So let's say you go do a heavy set of 2 reps. That's good, and it might be the same as doing 60 to 80% at like 3 times the rep range, if that makes sense. It all equates out, but basically every workout you're just trying to lift as much weight in total as possible. So let's say you lift 300 pounds twice, that's 600 pounds. Let's say your body, in order to see progress, you need to lift 1,200 pounds or something, and you need to factor in every rep and set of the workout to get that goal. That's how I'm thinking these days. I'm not thinking reps and sets. I'm thinking like how many total pounds am I pushing, or like just relative to my body's energy storage, how much can I exert myself, I guess, today and still see progress. So random thoughts to finish the video. Hopefully this makes sense. If not, I'll keep talking about it and figure out a way to make it make sense in the future. But thanks again for watching. Hope you guys have a great day.